Hello guys, this is Sarah and today I'm going to be talking to you today about the history of Mystic Star. So let's go back a little bit before 2008. Let me tell you how Mystic Star really started. It started back in 2005 almost. I was 15 years old at the time. And I was in high school. I was in second year, so everyone in Egypt knows how high school, how it is hard and how it puts all this type of pressure on you. And you just don't have the time to do anything. So my only escape was drawing. And one day I had like this dream, and the very first 2 pages of Mystic Star were born. Because the dream basically, I think it was a dream, because I don't remember how did I get the very first idea for the very first 2 pages or in the introduction pages of Mystic Star. So as you can see here, Cordelia looks so much different from how she looks like. That's because that was the older design of her, and she's completely changed as you see now. I like the new current change better than the old one by miles, but I also love the original one because it was the start. I do kept the eye shape and just, you know, did some modifications on it, but I did change the hair and the general style of it later on. As you can see, the very first panel, it was really classic, and I have it. Anyways, I drew these 2 pages and left them in the drawer for about a year. At that time, I was not into anime as much as I am now. About 2006, I was introduced by sheer coincidence to Final Fantasy, and at that time I played Final Fantasy X, and I was like, wow. That is just incredible, and I realized how much I love the fantasy thing. Now, I was a fan of Angel, Buffy, and Charmed, and everything that had these types of magic and just, you know, had these elements of magic, and Final Fantasy had it all. It has the magic, it has the fantasy, it has the good story, it has everything. So that was really kind of drew me into it more, and I said, I want to do a story that has all these great elements together. And I looked in my drawer and my art stuff, and I found the introduction page of Mystic Star. So I started working on it, but guess what? It ended up as a copy paste from Final Fantasy X. And I didn't even work on it in a Illustrator format. I worked it as in, oh, if I'm gonna draw everything, this is just gonna be a drag. That's what I said to myself back when I was 16. So what I did was actually write it down and just put some pictures to the story, or kind of like a light novel. Now, I don't know how really a light novel looks like because I never read one, but I did type the text in a way as in a dialogue. So, side A, 2 dots, so something, something, something. Side B, 2 dots, something, something, something. And after a couple of lines, there will be a picture. And after a couple of lines, there will be a picture. So on. That's the way I did Mystic Star back in the day, back when I was 16. Again, I was in high school and I didn't have all the time in the world to draw, and I did not draw that well. Anyways, as I kind of grew up more, I decided, no, I'm not satisfied with writing it and just putting pictures. I want to draw it, as in draw every scene of the story. So I started to draw, but at that time I used to draw on print paper, which wasn't really a good idea because the paper was kind of, I used to put all these effort into the paper, so it would just cut or leave trace marks. It's just really fine, so every little thing disappears in it. So anyways, it was a good start though. I did try out different styles. At that time, I also been influenced a lot by Witch and Winx, and yes, Winx. I'm a girl who loves fairy tale stories and things with magic, so don't blame me. So I was inspired or actually influenced more with Winx style rather from Witch, because I really adore Witch style, but I'm actually now I am kind of following the footsteps of Witch style in kind of a sense, not exactly the same style, but the general comic-ish sort of style, the Italian style in general. So I was influenced by Winx at the time, so my characters looked more Winx type of way, and they just look weird. And I wasn't too happy with that. They just looked weird, and the proportions was just odd and off, and everything about the characters looked just not what I want. So then I decided, no, I want another style. So I went and changed it again, and I reached to a certain style which I liked. So I like the style, but the problem is I don't know how to draw proper people. So that is another problem. I didn't know how to do positions. I didn't know anything about the stick figures. It's just anything, I just copied other positions, which wasn't right. It was really hard and took a lot of time. The panels look weird. The characters were all facing the same side, even though that the characters need to be in different positions. Anyways, at the same time in 2008, I was introduced to an animation company, and they taught me the basics of stick figures, and that really has changed how I draw. Now I have to say, this was the breaking point in which I've learned the basics of stick figures, and I started drawing better. Now, after that, by a while, I did draw the Mystic Star, the Mystic Star 2008 version, which the one is in front of you, and you can see the very first chapter on YouTube. I'm gonna leave it in the information box. So as you can see, this is how the characters look like. Yes, they were good in proportions, but I still had problems with positions. I didn't know how to draw exactly the positions based on stick figures. So I decided to stop and maybe train a little bit more on the basics and then redo it. And in 2009, I decided to change the story in general after coming up or introducing new two characters, the most popular two characters, the ones I cannot stop talking about, Sarah and Leon. Now, Leon, actually, he is a character that is inspired from different combinations of characters, including Squall from Final Fantasy VIII, and or Leon Hart and Leon, Squall Leonhart in Kingdom Hearts also, and Leon from Resident Evil. So he's inspired from a lot of characters that's named Leon. So that's the main reason why I called him that. The name Leon also kind of comes from, or close to, lion, so it is a symbol of power, and it is a really popular name, and I generally like it, so I decided to name him Leon. And I introduced Leon, and originally how his hair looked like was so much different. He didn't actually have that long hair, but for some reason I gave him the long hair. And I introduced Sarah, and I changed the story name from Mystic Star into Roses and Guns, as in a pre-Mystic Star story, or a prequel to the Mystic Star story. But when I introduced the prequel, it was more like an action-based story, which I didn't want. I wanted more of a fantasy theme. So again, after 20 pages or so, even though that the story was going so well, I wasn't satisfied in general with Leon and how he looked like, and with Sarah and how she looked like. So I just stopped and redesigned it. And it was about 2 years after that, and I started working on the characters again. It took me a while, but at that time I started watching lots of animes and started watching dramas, because I am inspired by everything nowadays. By drama, I watch things like Hellcats, for example. Things like the Turkish drama, which I follow, anime, anything in general. I keep a close eye on how the characters look, how their eye shapes, even my friends' eye shapes. I actually keep a close eye on them and take the eye shape of my friends and draw it, and then maybe I'll get some new experience from, these type of not so realistic anime, realistic type of anime eyes. And I started really concentrating more into details of clothing and characters and faces and everything, and that really gave me a lot of knowledge later on in character designing and also in storytelling. So I did finally came up with the characters, and I introduced Zack, which is the newest character, and also introduced another character who is Adam. Adam is actually based off an old character that I did in my very first comic, something called the Charmed Ones. It's something that I did back when I was almost 13 years old. I was reading Witch and I was so inspired by it, and I was watching Charmed, and they kind of both came together, and I said, okay, I'm gonna make a comic that looks like Witch, and it's going to be named the Charmed Ones, and going to be based on the magical fantasy theme of it. So I took the old character because I really liked how my old characters look. My older characters does have more originality from the characters that I have nowadays, I have to admit. Maybe because it was the very first characters that I did, so they feel so dear to me and they feel more original than what I'm doing nowadays, maybe because they just remind me that when I look at my work and see my current work, like, wow, see how old my work is and how much it changed from that to this. Maybe, I don't know, but he was a remake of my old characters. Now I'm actually looking into my older characters to come up with new main characters. I want to keep my older characters as main characters because these are the ones that count the most, rather from other random characters that I come up with all the time, like side characters and stuff. I don't care about side characters as much as I care about the main characters, because these are the ones that's gonna stick with me for a very long time. So it is Mystic Star and how it came through, and as you can see, this is the current Mystic Star and how it looks like. So I can talk about Mystic Star from now till tomorrow, maybe next week. I can talk on for years about it. Mystic Star is something that I have been doing for a very long time, since I was 15 years old. So it's part of me and I love it. It's what defines me as a person who draws and creates comics. I will agree with a lot of people, my story doesn't look more manga-ish and looks more comic, but whatever you like to call it, comic, manga, I don't care. I draw Mystic Star and I love Mystic Star, and that is what defines me on the art community. So I love it, and I'm so proud of my history, no matter how lame my drawing looked like back in the day, and I'm still proud of how much I have gone through these couple of years, because I am improved dramatically, and I maybe not as good as other people, but I am measuring how much I have improved over the years. Mystic Star history shows how much I have improved through the years. And I don't care if people say, like, you don't draw well, you don't do so and so. Just gonna tell you one thing: look at my old work back in 2005 and see my current work now, and then based on my drawing and how I have improved since 2005 and now, you can tell me if I'm good or bad. What I'm saying is that yes, I did have some embarrassing drawings, but I love my old drawings as much as I love my new ones, and it shows me how much I have improved. The main reason why I did this video was, first, it was a special sort of documentary for the 1,000 subscribers. Again, I just wanted to tell people, I know I have a big audience who are under 17 years old, so I understand the frustration of you guys trying to get something done and everyone telling you doesn't look so good or something. Don't listen to that. Just keep doing what you do, and in the years you're gonna do a video like this to show people that at one point you had these really lame looking drawings and now how good you are. So yeah, that's it really. That concludes the history trip or the history lesson of Mystic Star. So I hope I didn't give you a headache, but there were just so many things I wanted to mention in this video, and I'm glad I have mentioned them in this video. And that's it. And you guys take care, stay safe, and draw and have fun, and I'll see you in another video. So later.